Hey guys, UC here from iTradePrice. It is Sunday, July 10th, a little before 11 Eastern. Just wanted to kind of get started with our weekly video. So without further ado, let's dig in. QQQ weekly view. So we did manage to bounce from this long-term support around 267, this one right there. Still have to see consecutive bullish week, right? Something like this, because every time we see a bullish bar, we don't see any upside follow through. But it could change, as you can see. Market kind of bounced from this 280 level for the past 3 weeks, which is if it's not bullish, it's not even bearish at all, right? So really need to get above 297 now, or 296.6 if you just want to take the high of this 2 weeks ago price point. So we're kind of trying to get above this downtrend line, right? So if I take a look at this daily view, good development, nice structure. I remember we posted something like A, B, C pattern, and where the price made a higher low, right, around 275, and now it's trying to break above this 296.6 level, and we have this gap fill that it can try to attempt and fail. And then if we have a stronger move, we can definitely go all the way. We have 300 here, psychological number, but 310 to 315, that's where sort of the resistance of this structure comes into play. So that can be the target. But if we see a rejection, then we can see if it wants to back test this trend line and then bounce, or if it wants to break down further and just kind of roll over back to the downside, and then try to break down below this channel support line and its long-term support of 267. So though, kind of keep those scenarios in mind. It could end up looking like this being ahead, and then if it wants to go up, tries to come back down, and then develop an inverse head and shoulder over a period of time. But for right now, we'll just take it one day again at a time and see how it develops. But so far looking good, nothing bearish, I would say. Good price action. It did manage to break above this downtrend line. It was the fourth touch. So like we had been discussing in our previous updates, 1, 2, 3, and this was the fourth time. And let's see if we can get a follow through to the upside. Okay, so let's take a look at SPY. Always like to start with the weekly view. So it looks fine, similar to QQQ with this 390. Let's take a high of this area as sort of the number that we want to target on the upside, where it can, if it breaks above that, definitely that'd be a better one, right? So it's attempting to again try to get above this downtrend line. QQQ has already managed to do that, but SPY is kind of lagging from that perspective, right? We'll see how that develops. But price action again, not bearish, but not superly aggressively bullish, because we really, technically speaking, we're still in the downtrend, right? It's just a bounce from a higher low, but we really need to reverse this trend. If it wants to happen, we'll have to fill this gap, get above a closure above this downtrend line, maybe see if it wants to retest this level, and then get a bounce up towards the resistance around 415, 416. That's sort of the structure resistance right there, right? That can be a good upside target. From the downside perspective, this was the resistance on the way up, so that should act as support, at least on the first touch, if we see a move down before any move to the upside. Okay, all right, Amazon, nice move. Weekly, still not out of the danger zone, I would say, but still encouraging or supportive action, because we have seen with all markets breaking down and everything, Amazon has managed to close and hold the price above $100, right? So that's not bad, but we still need to get a push once we see a bullish weekly bar, right? We don't see a push as a follow-through move. So 118 is the level. Keep that in mind if you are praying this on the long side, that it needs to get above that to try to target 129 on the higher side. If you look at a daily view, not bad. Again, consolidation here towards the last few days of the week above this little mini downtrend line. Of setup can be where if we see an early sell-off Monday or Tuesday, it wants to come and touch this downtrend line that it got out of, right? A back test, this one can be a good risk and reward long here to see if it wants to bounce back up towards, or if you see if it wants to break out above 118 early in the week and try to target 122 area as the upside move. Okay, in a lower time frame, if I look at it and bring the levels, still in the channel up, right? In the lower time frame, nothing bearish. And if you see this is sort of a symmetrical triangle pattern, right? Where it's making a higher low and a lower high. So that means price is kind of squeezing, and once we see, if let's say Monday morning it gives an initial move, touches this trend, this uptrend line, and then move back up, that could be a good play. So different scenarios that we can keep in mind to see how we can play this one out. Okay, Apple got out of the downtrend line, nice strength, right? Because it's making these higher lows, right? Higher highs in the weekly time frame, so that is a good sign. If I go into a daily view, similar pattern, right? More bullish days, bearish bars don't see any downside follow through, so that is a good sign. Now let's see if we can keep on build on that momentum further, but let's see if it wants to make some sort of a shoulder here, right shoulder, and then go back up, because it did manage to close above this 143.3. that was a resistance, not only from the downtrend line but also the price. So once we got a push above that, now that can be treated as at least a first touch support, and as long as we are above 143.3, the momentum, the structure remains bullish to try to target this 150 to 151.8, the structure high, as the first target on the upside. Okay, Tesla. Let's just take a look at monthly view. Yeah, for monthly view, still have 20 days before this monthly bar closes, but it really needs to get above 793 on a monthly level to reverse some sort of to show some sort of strength on a higher time frame, right? Weekly view. Again, yes, we had a nice bullish week. We got some news over the weekend as well, where Elon Musk said that he's quitting the Twitter deal. Not sure how it will impact when the market opens, but maybe we get a boost early Monday morning and then a sell-off. But as long as it's managed to get or stay above 700, I would say it can be cautiously long on a higher time frame, right? We still have to get above this downtrend line, because there's this clutter zone, right? The price is just sort of stuck in this 770 to 620 range. Still a good range, but it's just been kind of not trending, I would say, on a higher time frame. Let's take a look at daily view. Okay, from a daily perspective, good bullish days, right? Higher highs, higher lows, all that stuff is nice. Managed to get above this downtrend line, right? Again, fourth touch, so that's nice. From the look and feel perspective, again, if it take out 768, then 793 is the higher time frame resistance, as we have multiple touch points there, right? So that would definitely be a resistance that bulls would like to overcome to see some good strong move next week, right? But if we fail here, see some sort of a bearish price action, and get a close below 720 or even 705. If you remember, that was a significant level that we were trying to get bullish above. If we get up close below that, then definitely we can roll back towards the downside, right? In a lower time frame, if I bring the levels, other ones, so still, channel to the upside, nice 30-minute view. Let's see if we get some sort of a setup where it wants to touch this or retest this 736 downtrend line area and then get back up, or if it wants to just give up. So I would say keep an eye on this 718, 723 as a pullback area to get long, and then if it does not want to go back up or bounce from there, your risk is low, right, from there. But below 708, it just gets weak. Okay. All right, now let's go to NVDA. Weekly view, trying to reverse here, but still has some work to do, right? Still in a weekly perspective, dominated by bearish trend bars. Bullish bars are not seeing any powerful follow-throughs. So from that perspective, it remains weak, but that doesn't mean we cannot go back test this 173 area or anything like that. We trade on a daily basis based on the setups. So we'll play both sides, but again, we'll just do what the market tells us to do, right? So right now it is good and bullish, but we just have to be careful because we want the price to get above this downtrend line, right? The good thing is we have this sort of a double bottom right here, Thursday, Friday. Now let's see if we get a weak open and then it wants to go back up above this, or if it just breaks down below. I would say as long as it's above 150, structure is okay and bullish. If it gets below that, then that means it's kind of getting on the weak side, right? So keep an eye on that. Square. If you are trading this name here, let's take a look at the weekly view. Yeah, I mean, it's not overly aggressively strong looking chart, still dominated again by bearish bars, bearish price action, bullish bars not seeing any upside follow through. This was sort of an inside week, so that can be an interesting setup going into next week if it because just from the looks of it, it can be a good breakout trade above $70 because you have this bullish price action that got above this downtrend line, and now we're kind of holding this in this 64 65 area. This was a doji bar, so it could be a pause, but if it opens up around 67 68, market is in a bullish mode, this can easily go to 72, right? Or if it wants to touch down here on the channel and then it go back up, but if it's below 63, all bets are off. Then we can definitely head down back towards 56 as it would be a fourth touch point to this trend line, right? 1, 2, and 3. So if it gets and breaks down below fourth line, it can kind of go weaker. Shop is actually making a nice chart on the upside. I think it has room to pop. I like it against 32 or even 30 low to try to target 39, 40, or even 50 on a higher time frame. But again, entry would matter. Risk to reward should always be a priority. And the way it looks like, it's just holding this area, and generally speaking, right? There has not been any push below this whole zone below 32. Yes, we did get close below 32, 33, but then we don't see any follow through below that, right? So that is encouraging for bulls. Now let's get into a daily view. Not bad. Bullish bars are dominating the trend right now, the short-term trend, right? 36 point again, 8 being the last week's high, to see if bulls can get price above that. And in the hourly view, here's sort of the trend line view that you can look at. As long as we're above 34.1 on an intraday basis, the chart keeps its structure, its bullish structure, because it can easily go like this and go back up. So 34.1 should be, I'd say, the low of the Friday can be a reference point to be bullish above, right? If it gets below 34, it's just kind of is in the weaker structure, right? So from structure perspective, 39.6 can be a good upside target for towards for the weekly basis, as long as it can hold 34 on a closing basis. Okay, let's take a look at two more. Meta. Weekly view, let's see. Yeah, I mean, from weekly perspective, 175, right? That was the support zone. We saw few bounces from that area, and once we got a close and or a breakdown below that, it started just consolidating between 175 and 154. So some consolidation here. Price is holding. Let's see if it wants to kind of make another doji week or something like that, and then push back above this downtrend line. But from the looks, it is nice. Maybe the catalyst would be the earnings that will be starting soon, right? Since we are ending the Q2 here. So from that perspective, wedge downwards, 175 being your reference point to play the upside. But from its looks, as long as it's above 165 on an intraday basis, the chart is bullish. Okay. Google, massive weekly run this past week. Love this name. It really did pretty good and nice. It did not break down below this overall bearish maybe flag, but we'll see if it gets rejected from this 2473 area. But if it's not, then definitely, because it can go towards 2659. We have the split coming up. I think it's happening next week. So we'll see if it was a sort of a buy the rumor and sell the news kind of a play. But as long as the chart is bullish, we'll consider it bullish. But from trade perspective, from 2470, a push towards the high end of this potential bear flag can be a short trade right here. We have some touch points where we saw the rejection, right? So that can be the area where you see the price go, and that would be the channel top. So you can play a nice rejection towards the 2385 as the support touch, right? Because that is acting as a resistance now. If we get above, that can be a good play as well. All right. I don't think we're left with any other name. We talked about the ones that we actively trade. So AMD, yeah, not bad. I think the AMD is also looking like a nice chart. So it's trying to get up from a higher time perspective. This is where we are. So we did manage to, so this will be the 1, sort of 2, and third touch point, right, from the trend line perspective. So we're trying to get above this one. 80.5 was the support level, which is acting as resistance. The good thing is, if I zoom in, we have this Thursday, Friday, 2 days of consolidation below 80.5. So let's see if we can break above that, or if it wants to sort of back test this level right here around 75, 76, something like this, as kind of try to fill the gap and back test. From that perspective, it could be a good risk and reward trade to buy it on the dip here and see if it wants to jump back from 75, 76 level to play on the top side. 72 can be a stop loss, from that perspective. All right. Okay, guys, have a good rest of your week. We'll talk soon. Thank you. Bye.